Alright, my name is Michael Uecker, and this is my final observations about fiction project. So first off, I'm going to start with Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, which throughout the semester was definitely my favorite book that we dove into. And Harry Potter's story is one that encompasses the magical spirit of growing up and, of course, in Harry's case, becoming acquainted to the wizarding world. Harry Potter's bravery is displayed throughout, whether it be when him and Ron are fighting the cave troll, trying to save Hermione, navigating the scavenger hunt to find the Sorcerer's Stone, or in the end just simply taking out Voldemort one-on-one, even though he's just a much less experienced wizard. And those examples kind of bleed into the loyalty aspect, where he's super loyal to his friends and his school, and of course Dumbledore and McGonagall and all of his Gryffindor buddies. And of course this story is just fun and adventurous, and probably Harry Potter is definitely my favorite series of books that I've ever read, and this is kind of course, the start of it all, so yeah. And then there's Batman, A Death in the Family, story of loss and guilt. Batman's story is definitely a little more tragic than Harry Potter's. The loss of Robin and the Ethiopian explosion really led Bruce Wayne to feel overcome by guilt just because he saw Robin as a son-like figure and someone that he was supposed to protect no matter the cost. Also, the inclusion of the mother being the one who led him into the Joker's trap really leads to the emotional conflict of the whole comic, not only to Batman but the reader. And despite this terrible loss, Bruce Wayne remains in a stoic fashion, and leads the campaign towards finding justice silently in the way that he does against the Joker. And then the dark conclusion to this comic is really unlike anything I've ever read, which really made it memorable. Compared to other fiction novels at this time, it's usually the good guy wins, but in this case it didn't really happen. And then the similarities between the two. First, of course, there's determination for justice. In Harry's case, he gets justice by kind of sticking up for Neville Longbottom when Draco bullies him, and he takes on Draco 101 on the broomsticks. And that's just a small example. He does it also by standing up to Snape when he discriminates against him and the other Gryffindors. And then on Batman's side, his mission is very simple: to bring criminals to justice. In this comic, of course, it's being the Joker. And while he may not have found justice because of the Joker's United Nations immunity, he still constantly strives against injustice. And then in overcoming loss, Batman's loss is glaring and kind of the centerpiece of this story. The loss of Robin, of course, devastates him and kind of leads onto the battle at the UN when Joker has the poisonous gas, and that's when Superman comes in. Harry's loss is a little less apparent to him at the beginning of the story. Of course, that's probably because he remembers nothing of his childhood except getting beat on by Dudley and the cupboard under the stairs, and his aunt and uncle just treating him horribly. However, it is revealed that Harry lost both his parents to Voldemort instead of the car crash that his aunt and uncle told him. And then, of course, Voldemort goes on to do great but terrible things. And then stoicism, humility, kind of a quality that they both share. Despite being massively famous in the wizarding world of Harry Potter, that doesn't change him or persuade him to become who he is or to pick any so-called higher class friends. And then Batman, of course, has to hide his identity, and he just continues to play the stoic manner of Bruce Wayne and that mysterious aura that carries on with Batman. That's it. Thank you for a great semester, and the end.